Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and I'm joined by Ben Foster.
All right, mate.
You all right? Oh, I built that way bigger than that. Anyway, Manchester United, we're going to look forward, but back.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was talking to Watto before you came in and he was like, what a rubbish game.
It was a rubbish game, yeah.
But from a Manchester United point of view, I was enthralled and engaged because it's like, I do feel like, I've said it a few times, it was a bit like Stoke going to Anfield or Birmingham City going to Anfield when you were there. You've just got to defend and get the point. But I think there's a lot about that result is almost a stopgap.
Yeah, I do. I agree. It's a fantastic result for Man United. And I'd be half fuming if I was Liverpool. One, because it's Man United, but two, it is for them probably 2 drop points. But for Man United, fantastic result. And to limit them to actually not that many chances.
There wasn't really any clear cut. I heard Gary Neville saying that the headers, they should do better.
Yeah,
maybe they should.
Yeah.
They're never really clear
exactly.
Cut,
they're kind of 50-50 chances, really. I think the XG after the game, Liverpool was like 2.5 or something. United's was 0 point whatever.
Well, United had the best chance.
They did have the best chance. So if you want to talk about the chance, we can as well if you want. Hoyland, I think it might have been Roy Keane or whoever it was anyway, said Hoyland after the game, they said, he's obviously a big physical workhorse and he's strong and all that, but he's not a clinical striker. And I think we're seeing that now, especially in the Premier League when you're up against the best defenders in the world. And I know he scored goals in the Champions League, but you've got to imagine he's playing against very low Premier League teams in the Champions League, with all due respect, with the likes of Galatasaray and Copenhagen. So yeah, he's struggling to hit the back of the net in the Premier League. But
I think he will, though.
I agree. I think it will come, and he looks like an honest player.
Yeah, and he's only 20,
and he's only 20, and I think it will come. But that's just where Manchester United.
But it does leave you a little bit exposed in the fact that
because he's the leading man at the minute. He's the leading man at the moment, and the people on the either side of him, they're not necessarily people are going to be setting up goals right, left, and centre. The likes of Anthony. They're not trying to set up somebody else to score, he's trying to score himself, and that causes a problem for Hoyland.
Yeah. I thought that the result, like you say, it's a good result for Manchester United and Liverpool. I think the reintroduction of Varane, I thought Luke Shaw was fantastic. The goalkeeper didn't really make any big mistakes. But you've got to, it'll mean nothing. I watched West Ham before against Wolves and they looked really good. And I was like, we've got West Ham and Villa our next 2 games. Yeah. That's going to be a tall order to win both of those. But for that Liverpool result to mean anything, it is like there were journalists and fans who were like almost going, if they get beat tomorrow, that could be the end of Ten Hag, and you don't get that now.
Yeah.
But you will get it.
No, it is. It's a stopgap. I think if it would have been a 6-0, a 5-0, then you wouldn't be surprised if you're waking up today saying that Ten Hag's going to get sacked, would you? You wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. But it is a fantastic result for Man United. I think it's the approach to the game, the way that United played in the game is the bit that leaves all United fans a little bit like, ugh. And probably even all the Liverpool fans as well, because they wanted to see an exciting end-to-end game. But United aren't going to do that. Why would they want to do
reality,
that?
Isn't it?
They've got to be realistic. They've got to understand they're away at Anfield and times are hard at the minute.
There's no other way you would go there and play.
No chance. There's nobody in this Premier League, probably apart from Arsenal and Man City, Tottenham, that would go to Anfield and go, we're going to go toe-to-toe with you. So Man United did what they needed to do, and that's sensible. And anything other than that, you're going to have something to say about it. So I say fair play to Ten Hag, fair play to the lads. They dug in. And like I say, the fact that they limited them to so few chances and had the best chance themselves is some sort of optimism, at least, going into the next 2 games.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of games. But I was looking about the... it's mad, isn't it? That Ten Hag's under this criticism. And Beth was talking about it on the morning show. You've got, after the same amount of games... Arteta 86 games and Ten Hag 86 games. Ten Hag's won more games. He's got more points per game, and the same with Klopp. But for Klopp, it's 99 games to 86.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And it is. I mean, I back the manager mainly because I don't want to see a manager get sacked at Man United. I don't think it solves the problem. But it is weird, and I was going to ask you about this anyway. Like, what's your thoughts on it? Because I don't know whether it's media-driven or it's the fact that he loses games badly.
Yeah.
But certainly, when you dig through the stats, he has won loads of games.
Yeah.
They don't draw many games. But the losses are memorable, aren't they? And I think that's what makes people think he's not the right man. But underneath, he's won a trophy as well.
I think there's a load of things you have to look at. Stats you can sort of read into them, however you want to read into them. I think you've got to support all those stats with all the facts and figures as well. So if you look at how they've performed in the Champions League in the last couple of seasons, it's been ridiculously disappointing.
Style of play as well.
Style of play has been bang average. Nobody actually really does know what the style of play. And then when you start looking at the expenditure, the amount of money they've spent, and the certain players that they've spent money on, and again, this ain't down to Ten Hag necessarily, but if you look at what the atmosphere looks like at Manchester United, the attitude of some of the players. I mean, even Dalot getting sent off. And I do think it's a red card, you know. I do. If I was a referee, I'm sending him off for that.
Mate.
No, honestly, I promise you. He's just had a yellow card, yeah?
The comments.
He's just had a yellow card, right? And to then go and do that again, it's pathetic.
But you're a nice guy.
No, do you know what it is, right, yeah? You have to have emotional intelligence at that moment in time.
I know, but I played the game, and I was a petulant person.
It's petulance. But
it
doesn't matter. Petulance is just as bad as two-footing somebody sometimes, yeah? It's going to get you booked. It's going to get you a second booking. So don't do it. If you know what the laws are and the parameters of the game are, don't go and do it. You are at least exposing yourself to the fact that you could get a second yellow card. And that's what he did. And I don't blame the referee, actually, because I reckon if every referee starts doing that, the lads will stop doing all this stupid arm waving stuff. It's pathetic. Honestly.
But you're a nice guy, and I don't think you'd ever do that. But there's a lot of people like me who would do that. And the thing is, you can't control it.
Yeah, no, you can't control it.
As a referee,
is it my fault? Is it my fault that you react like that?
As a referee,
is it my fault?
He's given him a yellow card.
Whose fault is it?
It's the referee's fault.
No, it's not.
He's got the decision wrong. He's got the decision wrong.
You're the only person in control of your emotions. You know that. You're the only person who controls how you react. It's you, yeah? I don't care what happens. It's only you that can control your emotions. So don't do it. Choose not to do it.
If you spilt red wine on my carpet and I came in and went, that's your fault, Ben.
Yeah.
You're out of order. And you give me a yellow card and I go, but it is your fault.
Yeah, it is.
You can send me off.
But there's a way you can
spilt the wine on the floor.
But still, you can
costs a lot of money.
You can come in and you can rant and rave at me and say, you fuck you.
He's just got to give him a bit of time.
You could come in and say, Ben, mate, you spilt red wine. And I'll go, oh, no worries, I'll help clean it up if you want, mate. That's what I mean. It's only up to you.
But
you're the person that decides.
Human nature in that
Not human nature. Would Harry Kane do that?
It's boring.
Would Harry Kane do that?
It's boring.
No, he wouldn't, but he'd be on the pitch still at least, though.
At the end of the day...
You'd still have 11 players on the pitch if you had a player that's got that emotional intelligence, that composure to be able to control themselves.
He's given him a yellow card because he's gone like that, right?
Yeah.
It's Anfield, it's Liverpool, Man United. He's given him a yellow card,
so
and then within the next second, he's thrown his hand again. He's given him a second yellow.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, and people in the comments will agree, first half, 20 minutes at Anfield, Liverpool into Johnny Evans, like that, books him, Darwin Núñez. So where's the second yellow there? There you go, mic drop. It's the inconsistency. So if you're right, which is fine, Darwin Núñez should have got it. But he won't do it.
I'm not saying I'm right, I'm saying it's my opinion.
No, but I can see your opinion.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's my opinion.
If he does that, he's got to do it to Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. If you're going to do it. And that is the inconsistency. But
he'll never do it after 20 minutes at Anfield.
No, of course he's not going to do it. But what I'm saying is, if you are going to react like that, then you are at least exposing yourself to the fact you might get a second yellow card. That's all I'm saying is just take that possibility away. Take the possibility away by not reacting like that.
You know, also, as a fan, I don't want robots. And I think that footballers... You know, Lewis Dunk got it a few weeks ago as well, and I just think referees are under so much scrutiny at the moment. Have a bit of common sense.
Nah, yeah, I'm with you. I get you, but also you got to imagine now that there's that many camera angles and that many slow-mos that everybody at home is watching this sort of stuff, and it's slow-mode, and you know what they're saying. So the Lewis Dunk one, you can tell what he's saying to the referee. It's disgusting words. It's proper foul, filthy swear words. Yeah, kids see this, and kids see this, yeah, and they think they can do that as well. So then on a Sunday morning, they go and do the same thing to the referee.
I don't respect the referees in the Premier League because I think they're rubbish, but I do respect.
We need to get to a point where it's like in rugby, basically. If we can get to the point where it's like the referees and the players, how they deal with each other, how they respect each other, how they talk to each other, football will be a better place for it. But then that needs more communication. It needs a mic on the referee. It needs him to be able to... everybody... Because if he had a mic, everybody could hear it. But do you know what? If a player goes up to talk to the referee and he speaks to him like they actually do speak to him, everybody at home can hear it. They'll be like, He's a filthy little player. And then players will start thinking about doing it, I promise you, because once people start going, he's an horrible little man, him, then honestly, the brand gets hurt, the club gets hurt, and they'll stop doing it, I promise you.
Yeah, I thought the ref was a bit shit yesterday, to be honest. But we got a point. But
it's a good point. It's a very good point.
But for West Ham, this is the big thing I wanted to ask you. The midfield of Amrabat and Mainu might not have worked, but I tell you what, it's difficult.
I like Mainu.
It's difficult.
I thought Mainu did well.
It's difficult to go to Anfield and be a midfield two under the press. I thought they did quite well. Yeah. We've not done that all season. Bruno will be back next week. Yeah. I fear he will go back to leaving one holding midfielder to put McTominay and Bruno in, and I think the big thing, and I am pro Ten Hag, but I will say this because it needs to be said, if he goes back next week and drops Amrabat or Mainu to put McTominay and Bruno together more advanced, he's going to lose his job.
Is it Man U?
It's at West Ham.
It's at West Ham.
I've been saying it all season, like Casemiro got overrun, Mainu got overrun because he wants to play McTominay and Bruno as more advanced. You've got to put two.
I would say if it was at Old Trafford, I would say then I can understand why he's doing it.
What happened against Bournemouth?
Yeah, I totally agree. But I would say it would at least you would get the fans on the side to try and give them a bit more, enthusiasm and optimism to go forward and try and score goals. But at West Ham, if you get off to a bad start at West Ham and you're playing that formation, you'll lose 3-0 again. I promise you will. I don't care anymore. West Ham, Bournemouth, they'll beat you 3-0. It's as simple as that because it's too easy to play through when you're away from home and the confidence is low. And if you think you can go and attack, they'll just expose it.
You mentioned Mainu. I thought for, 17, 18 years of age, he reminds me of you've got to play him. You look at Fabregas at Arsenal, look at Gerrard at Liverpool.
Yeah.
He's a player, just put him in.
He just looks at home, doesn't he? I think that's the biggest compliment you can say to him is he doesn't look out of place. He looks calm and composed at all time. Yeah. I love it. I do. I really like that. But I like the fact that he's not an arm slinger. He's not a pointer. He's not a shouter. He just goes about his business.
I like the way he got that yellow card in the first half as well, and it didn't faze him at all.
Chance. He just carried on doing
put his hand up to the referee and sort of went, probably was a yellow.
Sorry,
carry on.
Carry on.
And you are an ex-goalkeeper. Onana yesterday, I gave him 6.5. Got a lot of stick. I ignore it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all publicity is good publicity. And apparently, it was popping off on Twitter last night. I was watching Gavin and Stacey with a glass of red wine. I'd checked out for the night, so fine. But I thought he made some decent saves. Yeah. I thought his distribution was very mixed. Yeah. I thought his coming for crosses, handling was worrying. Yeah. But the biggest compliment I can pay is clean sheet, and he didn't make a big mistake. And I think, when you are a goalkeeper that's not playing well, I'll acknowledge that because I don't, he did the interview before the game. He said after the game, I wasn't intimidated by Anfield. He said, I was the best goalkeeper in the Champions League and now I'm the worst. That's not true, So he's got the gob to talk about it, absolutely fine. But for me, you're not just going to switch.
Goalies shouldn't be talking like that. You know what I mean? Just talk about the game there and then. You don't need to talk about whether you were the best goalie, and you don't got to talk about how Anfield didn't faze you. It's all bravado. It's all bravado. It's just why bother saying that? Just talk about the game. Say what you did. Say what you didn't do. Say you're happy for the team that we got a point. And simple as that, and leave it at that. He had a good game. Like I say, I think you giving him there the biggest backhanded compliment ever by saying. And the big thing for me is he didn't make any mistakes. But it's a bit like the United performance altogether, isn't it? It's not perfect. It's a 0-0. It did a job, but it's what you do next. Now. They can't start going, we're back. I mean, at the end of the day, we've probably lost ground with a point because a lot of teams have won. I've not really looked at the league table, but I think for United, let everyone moan, take the point. It's a really good point. Liverpool have won 7 out of 7 up until that. We've kept a clean sheet. But it's only a good result if you then go and beat West Ham. If you lose to West Ham, the pressure's back. I've got the league table in front of me here, by the way. If you lose to West Ham, they jump above you into 7th position.
We could be 9th. Yeah, if Brighton win as well.
Yeah, it could be 9th if results go against you.
And the gap to 4th has actually gone bigger, hasn't it? It's No, it's still the same.
I still don't think you are getting that 5th position, mate. I think the way
5 points to 5th.
The way it goes for Man United this season, the way it's gone all season is it's so inconsistent. It's like I said, the fact they've had 1 draw all season, 9 wins, 7 losses. That's just pure inconsistency. That's basically win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, and that's the frustration with Man United at this moment in time is you just don't know what you're going to get. But we have said that from day one.
I think long term, United have got hope. I think there's a lot of young players. I think there's some players to come back. But I do agree. I think there's still bumps.
Young kids won't win you anything, you know.
No, it's a longer project.
Who said that?
Alan Answer.
Well done.
Yeah, we're not quite got the class of '92. Thanks for coming on, Ben. Legend as always, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody at home as well. Have a good one. Drink too much. No, don't drink too much. That's what I meant to say. And see you in the new year.
Do drink. It's good for hydration.
Yeah, it's good. It's Christmas.